I've worked with a lot of men who are tracking their food, training consistently and sleeping well, and they're still struggling to lose fat. And the first thing most of them say to me is, I think I've got a slow metabolism. They don't. My name is Adam, I'm a performance nutritionist, and over the last 10 years, I've helped over 200 men get lean and significantly improve their health. What I've found is almost every single time that the deficit they think they're not actually in. Not because they're lying, but because the system they're trusting has gaps in it and they don't even know. Look, food packaging is allowed to be off by around 20%, which means that meal you scanned that said it was 500 calories, it could legitimately be anywhere from 400 to 600. And if you're eating 3 to 4 packaged meals a day, those margins stack. Restaurant meals are worse because the portion you get depends on who's cooking that day, how heavy-handed they are with oil, and how they plate it up. The number on the menu is often an average of averages. I've had clients eating what looked like a perfectly structured 1,800 calorie day. But when we dug into it, the gap between what they logged and what they were actually eating was closer to 300 calories every single day. Labels and menus are useful and they give you a framework, but they are not gospel. Judge your progress by your trends in body weight and measurements over the weeks and not by trusting a single meal's number. And this one's a bit uncomfortable, but it needs saying. The issue often isn't the meals, it's everything around the meals. A bit of your kid's dinner that you've finished off, that handful of nuts you grabbed walking past the kitchen, the ketchup, the mayo, the drizzle of olive oil in a pan that you never logged because it felt like nothing. Research using incredibly precise measures of measuring calorie burn has shown that people routinely underreport their intake, and it's most common in people who are actively trying to diet. And not because they're cheating, because these things don't feel like eating, but they are and they count. A tablespoon of olive oil that becomes 2 tablespoons can easily be 180 calories. A handful of cashews is 160, likely a lot more depending on how big your hand is. Do that a few times a day and you can easily close a 500 deficit without a single proper meal being the culprit. For the next 2 weeks, if it goes in your mouth, it goes in the app, all of it. Now your body doesn't care whether something's marketed as clean. It cares about energy balance. And some of the foods that make you feel the most virtuous are among the most calorie dense things you can actually eat. Nut butters is one of them. I see this consistently. Someone's eating a tablespoon, but they're scooping out the jar with a dessert spoon and it's a heaped one. What they log is 90 calories, but it's closer to 300. Granola, nuts, avocado, olive oil. They can all be genuinely good foods, but none of them are free. And because they feel healthy, people aren't weighing them, they're eyeballing them. If you're not putting calorie dense foods on a scale at least every so often and you're just guessing, you're probably guessing wrong. Start weighing the stuff that's easy to overestimate, the nut butters, oils, nuts, cheese, even if it's just for a few weeks. Most of my clients are genuinely shocked at how far they were off. Liquid calories are particularly dangerous because they barely register as hunger. You can drink 400 calories and feel the exact same way as you did before. Solid foods at least give you something to chew through. Drinks just disappear. A large flat white with full fat milk is around 200 calories. A fruit smoothie can be anywhere from 300 to 600, depending on where you get it. A couple of glasses of orange juice can easily be 250 calories. And none of these feel like eating, but they absolutely are. If you're being careful with your meals, but you're not logging what's in your cup, you're missing a meaningful chunk of your intake every single day. So most tracking apps handle alcohol badly, and most people don't realize. Alcohol has about 7 calories per gram, more than protein or carbs, but less than fat. But it isn't listed as its own macro in most apps. So when you log a drink, the calories often get distributed across your carb or fat numbers in a way that makes it look like you've eaten more macros than you actually have. The result, your macros say you're on track, but your total calories are quietly higher than you realize. Or you've hit your macros and feel fine without noticing the extra 300 calories sitting in those drinks. If you track macros only and don't pay attention to total calories, it's worth auditing. This is the other side of the equation, not calories in, but calories out. Wrist-worn watches or trackers overestimate how many calories you burn during exercise. And multiple studies have shown overestimates of 25% or more. So if your watch tells you that session burned 800 calories, the real number might be closer to 5 or 600. If you're then eating back those earned calories, you can wipe out your deficit entirely and sometimes go over it without even realizing. I had a client a few years ago who couldn't understand why he wasn't losing weight. He was training hard, eating carefully, and the scale wasn't moving. When we looked closely, he was adding back close to 1,000 extra calories a day based on his tracker's estimates. We removed that habit and weight started coming off within the first few days. And the food was the same. He just stopped trusting the number that was never accurate to begin with. Use your tracker as a measure to quantify your relative effort to other sessions. Use it to see if you're moving more or less than usual, but don't use it as permission to eat more. So I want you to run this audit for the next 7 to 14 days. Tighten up on labels. For packaged or restaurant food, assume there's a margin for error and don't treat those numbers as exact. I personally do about 1.2 or 1.25 times whatever it says. Then I want you to weigh the calorie dense stuff, oils, nut butters, nuts, cheese, granola. Put them on a scale at least temporarily. Log everything, every bite, every sip, every condiment, and definitely every cooking fat. Stop eating back your exercise calories. Set a fixed target based on your normal activity level and stick to it regardless of what your tracker says. Then I want you to watch the trend, not the day. Your weight will fluctuate. What matters is the direction over weeks, not what the scale says on a Wednesday morning after a big dinner the night before. Remember, the goal isn't to track like this forever. Think of it in phases. Phase 1 is the audit. 2 to 4 weeks of honest, detailed tracking to find the leaks. And you're not doing this long term, you're doing this to learn. Phase 2 is about loosening up slightly. You keep tracking, but you stop weighing every single thing. You focus on the calorie dense items that are easy to underestimate. Phase 3 is maintenance. Mostly habits and portion awareness with occasional periods of tighter tracking if progress stalls. The men I work with who stay lean long-term aren't obsessive trackers, but they've done it enough to honestly understand what their food actually contains. That knowledge doesn't leave you, it just becomes instinct over time. If you've been convinced you're in a deficit but nothing's happening, the most likely explanation isn't your metabolism. It's the gap is smaller than you think for reasons that aren't your fault. Follow the audit and you'll start seeing the results that match your efforts. If this video was useful, subscribe, and I think you're gonna like this video next. I'll see you there.